Hello, welcome to Off the Wall Movie Reviews. I'm Aubrey, and today we'll be discussing the film Thoroughbreds, directed by Corey Finley. This is a comedy crime drama about two teenage girls from the suburbs in Connecticut who are trying to reconnect after their friendship has grown apart. By coming up with a plan to fix their problems they are currently having in their lives. Our film begins with a shot of the character Amanda with a horse, then cuts to a person pulling a knife out of a backpack. So from the start, we're left with questions. We're then taken to a house where Amanda meets up with another young lady named Lily for a tutoring session. We learn that they've known each other for a long time, but they've lost touch. As their first session continues, we learn that Amanda's mom wanted to get Amanda out of the house and socialize with friends, so she set up the tutoring sessions for Amanda and Lily to connect. Now, I know when I was younger, my grandmother used to set up play dates with me and my friends, but I was like 7, 8 years old. These young ladies are like 17, so I know for sure I wouldn't want an arranged hangout with a friend at that age. Amanda eventually shares with Lily that she lacks emotions and feelings, which prompts Lily to be more direct with her, which in turn doesn't really hurt Amanda at all. So another day goes by, and Amanda comes back over for another session, but this time, Lily wants to treat it more like a real hangout. We're then introduced to Lily's stepfather, Mark. It's pretty obvious Lily doesn't like Mark that much, and Amanda calls her out on it. We then see Amanda and Lily really be themselves around each other, finding things that they desire from one another, but also finding things that are repulsive. Now, none of their interactions are coming off in a romantic kind of way. They're just noticing things about each other that either are traits they wish they had or things that are a complete turnoff. The kind of thing that makes you want to go, yeah, I think it's time for me to head on out of here. Next, we follow Lily to a house party. She's surrounded by a bunch of teenagers socializing, gossiping about a specific someone, and getting into a heated discussion, almost causing a fight. This is where we meet the character Tim. He isn't that well put together and is a little too old to be hanging out at a teenage house party. Lily has a brief conversation with him where he tries to tell her that he sees something stewing inside of her and that she should consider loosening up, try rethinking her goals in life. Now, the next time Lily sees Amanda, she drives over to Amanda's house. She's greeted at the door by Amanda's mom, who was surprised to see that Lily has company, and even asks if Amanda has done something wrong, as if to warrant Lily's visit, further showing the audience that there is something troubling going on in Amanda's life. As the story progresses, we start to see the problems that Lily faces in her own household, the resentment she has for her stepfather, the disconnect between her and her mother, and the lengths that Lily would go to make a change. This built-up frustration leads to Amanda and Lily reaching out to the character Tim for what they call a business proposition. Personally, I've never been asked by a friend to intervene with their personal matters in order to gain something out of the ordeal. That sounds like all kinds of messed up, and I'm not going down for anything like that. Overall, I thought this movie was good. A look into the tale of two upper-class teenagers who are going through relatable issues that turns their worlds upside down is intriguing, only due to the extremities of their actions. The way our characters go about dealing with their issues at hand makes for a good narrative. The stories of young adults and the hardships they experience are ones we hear time and time again, but this one explores that with a little flair and dexterity. The cinematography was exquisite. Scenes were bright and clear. At times it felt like I was getting a personal tour. There's this long take where the camera is following Amanda through Lily's house, winding around corners as if the camera's glued to her back. The same view was used to follow Lily at one point. It makes for a really pristine shot. One gripe I have with the film, though, involves the world building around Amanda. I don't feel like I got enough time with the people that are heavily involved in her life. It would have been nice to see someone like her support system or someone she interacts with on the daily. The cast was on point. Olivia Cooke as Amanda sold how her character functions on an emotional level. Her performance was convincing on how a person could lack empathy. I find the actress very beautiful, and it is always stunning to see her on screen. Anya Taylor-Joy as Lily was a stringent presence. Her character was dazzling and cunning. You think you know what kind of person you're dealing with until she reveals another layer to her complexity. It's always splendid to see her on a roll. And Anton Yelchin, may he rest in peace, as Tim, was a well-placed perspective of someone on the outside of the lavish life that's displayed in this movie. On a 5-star rating scale, I'd give this movie 3 stars. I recommend giving it a watch. It really is a thrill ride. Well, thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed this content, and if so, hit that like button and subscribe. You have a good one.